Hello and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Alliance. Of course, I'm your host Clay, and with me, like always, is of course Katie. Katie, how you doing tonight?
Hello there. I'm doing okay. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna be short and sweet tonight and leave it right where it is.
I am. I was just telling you off mic, off live. I went to the park today for the first time in what I feels like forever. Amberlyn swung on a swing for the first time. But see, the thing is, I don't like going anywhere on my day off. And it sucks because me and Abby are completely opposite. Because she works from home, she wants to get out of the house. And because
Yep.
I drive every single day for my job, I just want to stay home every single time I'm off. So we are complete opposites when we actually have time to do something. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to do anything. Like that, nothing sounds amazing. And to her, going out, doing something sounds fun. And so we always have to go with a happy medium, which is usually only going out for a limited amount of time and not the full amount of time that he wants to go. Um, but yeah, today has been fine. We of course are going to be talking about Star Wars Visions, our little retro. I know it's only been a year, but of course, next week is the big day for Visions Volume 2. So to hype us up, we're going to go ahead and have a small conversation about Volume 1. Again, talking about some of our favorite things about it and whatnot. I don't think we will have to go into full detail on every single episode because, of course, we did that already. And you can go check that out in the feed to get our first initial reactions if you would like. But, Katie, I don't believe we have too much news, actually.
No, we do not. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right author to tag on Twitter because we're also going to be talking about Quest for the Hidden City today. We're not going to be talking too much into it. The book's been out for months.
Yes, that's
Um,
right. That's right.
but just
Yes.
kind of a general review and everything. Um, so we've got that to talk about, and then we are going to be talking about like the biggest news we have is we're going to be talking about like the different shorts that we're going to get, kind of going more in detail about who the cast is for them, as well as like the concept, because we're getting a lot more conceptual things. Star Wars has been tweeting posters and on Instagram and stuff, so we can kind of look at those individually and kind of see like what do we think is going to come out of this, based on the trailer and like what we end up talking about. What do we think is going to be our favorite? So when we talk about it next week, we can actively go like, oh yeah, I thought this one was going to be my favorite, but actually it was this one. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're going to be talking about today.
All right. Well, of course, before we jump into everything, we have to do the GUA paperwork. Of course, down below in our show notes, you will be able to see our schedule for any and all shows here at the GUA. We just recently had our GUA crossover where I will give a chef's kiss to Joe, of course, who was able to hold down the fort for a good 45 minutes on his own before I was able to join. And then, of course, our patron Charlie joined us for a good conversation about some of the news with Max, the streaming shows that are coming into there. Really, really fun stuff. Charlie making us feel old. Sorry, Joe. But yeah, really all fun stuff. Go check out that crossover. It was very, very fun. Um, but um, in things to come, I think so currently, as of we are recording this, it is the 26th of April. Both myself and Brent will be seeing a advanced screening of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I don't know if anybody else was able to get tickets or passes, should I say, because they weren't for sale, passes for the advanced screening for Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the last time this happened was with Shang-Chi, and Brent was able to record a small, non spoiler with his wife over on Patreon. I have no idea. Haven't even asked him if he's going to do it, but I might throw one out there myself. So you might be getting two perspectives of that if Brent decides to do one as well. So look forward to that dropping probably Friday night or Saturday morning. And then, of course, next week is the full release of Guardians of the Galaxy. And, of course, for our show, Visions. Of course, that's going to be May 4th. I think we haven't announced this yet, but we should go ahead now. We won't be going live Wednesday, but we will be going live Thursday
That's correct.
because Marvel Alliance will be going live on Friday to do their Guardians of the Galaxy review.
Yes.
So,
So we're going to be talking about Young Jedi Adventures, which all 6 shorts released on Disney Plus today, and then the episodes, because there are full-fledged episodes, those are going to be dropping Thursday as well. So the main topic, of course, will probably be Visions, but we're going to talk about Young Jedi Adventures as well. And patrons can stay tuned because Clay and I are going to do a little watch along for Visions.
yes, that's going to be very
So
fun.
yes, I'm excited. But I have the day off, Clay has the day off. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of Star Wars things that day. And then of course we will be taking a month off. So we haven't discussed a return date, but it will be the first or second week of June. So you can expect us back then. And so enjoy your May off. Like let the kids listen to what they want to on the way to school instead of Star Wars Alliance. And then we'll be back for summer vacation. So yeah.
Yes,
Um,
and due to scheduling and everything else, we were hoping to have Path of Vengeance on the table already before our break, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening. So we will be looking forward to a Path of Vengeance review after our break.
yeah. And we'll also talk about the manga Edge of Balance precedent at that point, because that is coming out May 23rd.
That is
So
correct.
just for a release date reminder, Path of Vengeance does release next Tuesday, May 2nd. So you can pick up the audiobook then, the Kindle version. And then yeah, you'll have a full month to be prepared for our review of the lovely book. So I'm excited. Though I really think Cavan's gonna hurt us, like really badly.
I I don't know what to expect from this one. I know that there is an audience out there that listens to us for our reviews, but some people don't, so they don't know exactly what's going on in the High Republic. But there are two sisters that have been kind of not present in the books after the first book of this wave, or this phase, really. And I need to know what happened because there's some elements in these prior books that I feel like they should have been
Mhm.
knee deep in, and they weren't. So I need to know what's
So
going on.
I just read the High Republic 8, and Yana is in that one. Also, they're cousins, not sisters. So Yana is
Oh,
in
that's
that
right.
one.
That's right. Cousins. Yes. See, Yana's my girl, and I need to know more about her. I know. I will also be reading. Um, I'm catching up on a lot of my Star Wars comics right now, and that is on the list for me to do tonight. So, uh, I will give you my opinion on all of that stuff on a later date. But let's go ahead and move on. Where do you want to go first, Katie?
So let's go ahead and talk about Visions Volume 2. Um, so that once again dropping next Thursday, May 4th. And it's got uh and I still have not looked up how to pronounce some of these studios, but the studios involved include Lucasfilm, Cartoon Saloon, Punk Robot, Omier Studio Mirror. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I was reading the logo instead of the words. Okay, let's try that again. El Giri, Cartoon Saloon, Punk Robot, Ardman, Studio Mirror, Studio La Cachette, 88 Pictures, Dart Shot. Oh my gosh. Tahio. Oh my gosh, Clay, please look that up so we don't butcher that the rest of this episode.
Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Um, and
Okay,
Triggerfish.
I think it's the art Shachijo. And let me look up the pronunciation of that last word.
And that studio, the short was created in collaboration with Lucasfilm. So once again, 9 new shorts from 9 studios, and they're all from different countries this time. We've got Spain, Ireland, Chile, United Kingdom, South Korea, France, India, Japan, South Africa, and of course, with Lucasfilm, the United States.
So the T is silent. It's Sagio.
Ah, okay. Shashio. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. I'm still gonna butcher that. I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh, this one doesn't have the summaries for the episode. Okay, let me find that. Okay, so the first one up is Sith, by L. Guiri. And the writer slash director was Rodrigo Blas. And I believe this one, and I'm looking it up, y'all, to fully get it under my belt, but I believe this one is the Old Republic character one.
Um,
With sorry, as
I am looking for the articles, and because I'm on the Star Wars Twitter page where they're sharing all the posters and stuff. Um, I don't know where you're getting all the information for directors and cast though.
I found that one on StarWars.com.
Haha.
Oh my gosh, visions.
On the fly show notes, people. This is how we work it here at
I'm
Star Wars
so
Alliance.
I'm so sorry, y'all. No, that literally has nothing. Okay, Instagram, because I know somebody has been tweeting or Instagramming things. Jeez. Uh, um, Michelle on Ahsoka X Tano, I greatly appreciate you. You are the best. Present. Until Clay finds a better resource for us. I'm gonna just show her Instagram feed. Um, so this is her lovely Instagram feed, y'all. It is like the best. And I have actually podcasted with Michelle before. She's amazing. So if you're not following her, I believe she also does have a Twitter. But it's Ahsoka X Tano is her username. Um, so um the very first one um is called Screecher Reach, and it's about a young girl who's seeking reprieve from her days in a rural workhouse. Oh my gosh. And she discovers a legendary haunted cave with her friends. The cave's dark pull will change the trajectory of her life forever. And this is about like the inspiration from this, if like nobody gets it, is Empire Strikes Back with the Dathomirian cave. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Um, so it's got some cool animation. This one is from Cartoon Saloon, and a bunch of people who have been reacting to and Cartoon Saloon is from Ireland. So a lot of the landscape and everything, like you can kind of see the landscape of Ireland in the animation they've said. Um, and that she has that one actually right here. So you can't really see it on the screen because I've got it on the vertical screen, of course. But you can see like here's the Star Wars shot in the animation, and then here's the mountain it's based on.
Oh, that's
Um,
very cool.
so um, both Irish and Star Wars Easter eggs, the locations are inspired by the Irish landscapes. And yeah, the cave is inspired by the Dark Side Cave. So I'm assuming this is our main character right here in the middle. So
Very, very cool.
and here's some more shots from it. So you can see like the speeders look a lot like Ray's almost.
Oh yeah. From the Force Awakens, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the colors of what this is gonna
Yeah.
look like.
Kind of like the midnight starry horizon type
Mhm.
feel. Very excited about it. And it's got like a flat animation look. I don't know how to describe animation. Like,
It's your traditional 2D animation, but with a mix of 3D. Uh, you can definitely see a little bit more of the 3D stuff the uh in the speeders. If you
yeah.
look at the Star Wars Twitter account, it says "Journey to Screecher's Reach," and they have a GIF playing of the speeders. You can definitely tell what is for sure 2D animation and what is 3D animation here. But it looks all very, very good. I'm a big fan of 2D animation. I'm just a classic guy like that. And a lot of the stuff that was in Visions um, played a lot with old school 2D like Japanese animation, and I really love that. So I'm really loving the inclusion of it here in volume 2 so far.
Sorry, one of my headphones just went out. Yes, I'm very excited about this. Uh, and then I think this is another, yeah, this is more images from it.
I did
So
not
then
realize
the
how much was released as far as like was all of this in the trailer, or are these just like random
no, I
stills
think
that Star Wars has released?
so. I think they've been trying to focus on one per day, so we're not gonna get like the images that she has. Like she has through the spy dancer.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I don't think so. Like that's the only one she has. I don't think Star Wars has tweeted them all. So if you can look for like another like synopsis, that would be good.
Well, I on the Star Wars website, starwars.com, on the volume 2 tab, it does have the synopsis of each one on there.
Okay. On the you said the tab.
Yeah, if you go to series, then scroll all the way down to visions, press explore, and then scroll down, it should have the uh volume 2 article.
Ah, here we go. Visions. Wait, this one? Ah, yes, here we go. I think. Yep, here we go. This is a much better way to do this, but we'll continue because she's got images and this doesn't look like it has the images. Um, so I Am Your Mother is by Aardman. And it's about young pilot Annie who is embarrassed by her sweet but clingy mom, and she must team with her for a madcap family race at the academy. Along the way, their relationship is tested by the elements, their old ship, other racers, and each other. And this one, I think I'm most looking forward to because I probably know the animation style the best because of Wallace and Gromit and things like
Chicken
um
Run.
yeah, Chicken Run. Um so this is probably the one I'm looking the most forward to. Uh let's
And this
see.
is the
And
one that actually I Am Your Mother actually has a character that we know from actual Star Wars, which is
Wedge
of course
Antilles.
Wedge. Yeah, so I think that one's going to be really fun. So far in the realm of Star Wars Visions, from what we know, it was always pitched as, "Hey, in your eyes, what is Star Wars?" Not necessarily, "Hey, add your own Star Wars element within our mythos." It was, "Hey, create what you would imagine your world of Star Wars being." And for the fact that they are using in canon characters for this one, you know, we as fans, if we enjoy it enough, we can say, "Hey, we can head canon this as canon and add it into the mythos."
Exactly. Like we've always said, there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. So here's the now famous GIF. Um,
Oh
the
yes, of the
Wookiee tearing the
Wookiee.
doll. So And then here's one of the shots, I think this is in the trailer, but this has, I'm assuming this is Annie,
Hmm.
and then her mother. So, and lots of fireworks.
I'm glad, like, and we'll talk about this more when it comes to our retrospective of Visions. Um, I think it was Travis Snell when we were talking on our Star Wars Alliance chat. He was saying how it very much felt like there was a theme of like darkness and all of that stuff with this Volume 2 trailer. Watching Volume 1, I feel like that was kind of a theme also. There was a lot of dark stories in there. This one, uh, the uh, uh, the I Am Your Mother does seem a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more playful, not as dark. And I'm
Mhm.
glad we're getting something like that in Volume 2.
Yep, for sure. So then the last one she has images for is the Spy Dancer. And this is by Studio La Cachette. And it's the premier dancer at a famous imperial frequented cabaret uses her unique skill set to spy for the rebellion, but the presence of a mysterious officer threatens to derail her mission.
Now, I don't recognize, and I don't think I should recognize any of the voice actors on a lot of these different shorts that we're going to be getting in Volume 2. Uh, the only one I do recognize, I am just now seeing it now, is from a one called The Pit. I recognize Steve Blum's name, but everywhere else, these are voice actors that I don't think I am too familiar with, which is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and it's probably because like they're being developed like from their own country and stuff.
Hmm.
So just ease of access, like you're recording this in your own country or making this production, so you want to be able to like kind of control the actors a little bit more. Um Obviously being the huge Try Guy fan I am, the other voice I recognize on here, you've got Eugene Lee Yang. And of course, you can't ever forget Daniel Day Kim. They are both a part of
Oh,
Journey to the
yes,
Dark
yes.
Head, the English dubcast. So,
Looking forward to
um,
all of these. Which one we've covered the I'm Your Mother,
so
Screecher's Reach,
yeah,
uh
where was the cast? Because we didn't talk about the cast for Screecher's Reach.
uh
Okay, so Screecher's Reach, Eva Whittaker as Dal, Alex Connolly as Bathan, uh, Noah Rafferty as Quinn, Molly McCann as Kina, Angelica Houston as the Sith Mother, and Naima Moyles as Ghost. So those are the ones involved with Screecher Reach. I Am Your Mother, Maxine Peake as Kalina Kalfas, Charithra Chandran as Annie Sukaline Kalfas, Daisy Haggard as Dorota Van Riepel, BB Cave as Julian Van Riepel, and Dennis Lawson as, of course, Wedge Antilles.
oh, you know what? I am I knew I recognized the name, but in Screech's Reach, Angelica Houston as the Sith Mother. Um, and I'm looking right underneath the banner for Star Wars Visions Volume 2. It it recognizes the fact that Wedge Antilles will be a part of I Am Your Mother, and the screen icon Angelica Houston as the Sith Mother. I was like, why does that sound familiar? And she was, of course, in the Adams Family, and most recently in John Wick Volume 3. So, yeah, I should know Angelica Houston. So there's two people that I know uh, in Volume 2. Uh, I feel like I didn't know a whole lot of people in Volume 1, though. So I don't remember going too in depth with the cast when volume 1 was announced, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I for me, I'm like, we didn't talk about it a whole lot then, but I definitely did wanna give, the cast a lot of credit because, um, like, it does they also are doing, like, more English versions, so they do have a Spanish dub for Sith, and then obviously they have, uh, South Korean Studio Mir has a Korean cast, and then they have the English language dub, um and then there are obviously, like, the other dubs, that, like, are regular, but actually it looks like most of these were recorded in English.
Okay, very neat.
Yeah. Alright, so going back to the top, we have Sith, and I think this one, yes, is, like, the Old Republic, based one. And it's about a former Sith apprentice leading a peaceful but isolated life is confronted by the past when her old master tracks her down. What do you think about this one being kind of like an Old Republic spinoff?
Um, I dig it. I am a very big fan of the Old Republic. Before, of course, I was introduced to the High Republic. Um, just because I've always been intrigued by knowing more of Star Wars past than anything, and uh, of course, me being a video gamer, um, having the PC game, The Old Republic, was always fun. I always loved watching the new cutscenes that they would introduce. Darth Bane was a big part of that, uh, and I just loved all of the cinematicness of the Old Republic. So this being a heavy influence on that, I'm a big fan of it anyways. So bring it on.
Yeah. I'm excited, just because, like, I've never really gotten into the Old Republic, so I have read the Legends books, but it will be cool to kind of see, like, an adaptation take place. Also, the colors for this one's, I think, probably the most prominently featured in the trailer, so I'm excited to kind of see what it looks like because, like, the big theme, I think for volume 1, which we'll talk about, was, like, the blue, which to me was, like, everything was, like, full of life, and it was about finding hope,
hmm
in the darkness. So I'm curious to see how the red is gonna come into play here. So,
I will say red does look like a very big theme in every single one of these stories in the trailer. Very much prominent in the poster as well. So when I say the poster, I mean the poster for Visions Volume 2, not necessarily a poster for the other individual stories in
yeah.
Volume 2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Um, so the next one is In the Stars by Punk Robot. Two sisters, the last of their kind, who live in hiding on their ravaged land, squabble about how to survive with the Empire encroaching. On a water run, the sisters must fight back when they are discovered. And it's got Valentina Muir as Koten, Julia Obito as Tashina, Kate Dickey as officer, and Amparo Noguera as officer. And Valentina and Julia also voiced their characters in the Spanish dub.
I really am looking forward to this. I saw, I think, Star Wars, the Twitter account, post a poster of this earlier today, and I believe there has been a couple gifs as well as portions of the trailer cut out. A lot of people are really digging this type of art style. Again, playing with that almost claymation type of look. Um,
Yeah.
and I really dig the poster. Um, Gives me almost like a I know I don't like the movie franchise, but Avatar type of feeling. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah. It definitely looks super cool. It also, like, not to, like, say this is, like, a bad thing, but, like, it looks like the main characters are going to be, like, more, like, like a caveman. Like they're not like super technologically advanced,
More
and it looks like
indigenous.
the Empire's gonna come in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. Oh my gosh, y'all, today has been a day. Okay, I'm sorry. Um, but a lot of people said like this one will sneak up on you. In the reactions when Star Wars tweeted this out today. So
Uh, Derpy Entertainment is in the comments here, joining us live. He said season one was great, but season two looks different and another level from creative and story standpoint. Are you guys seeing Return of the Jedi in theaters? Of course, for the 40th anniversary, Return of the Jedi is hitting theaters this week. I am pretty sure, and or next week. I can't remember. Um, I will not be able to. I have a full slate of things to be doing, and I actually think it's this weekend. Actually, I think it's this Friday. Um, I have a lot going on. Today, of course, I'm here live, Star Wars Alliance. I'm recording another podcast tomorrow, uh, as well as on Friday, seeing two movies. It's already gonna be a wild week. So, and then I work on the weekend. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to see Return of the Jedi in theaters.
yeah, yeah. So I'm working all day Friday. And then we are traveling this weekend for my nephew. My nephew's being born Friday. My sister's
Oh,
scheduled for a C-section.
yay!
So yeah, very excited about that. Um, so and then Derby says it's limited time for a week. I may get to it, but like I've never like the only Star Wars I've ever seen in theaters is the sequel trilogy. And while Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the original trilogy, I don't necessarily know like if I want to go see it in a theater because like I only have so much time in the week. So like we're gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3 next week. So I don't know if I'm gonna get to it because like my days are super swamped with
I
work.
work if it's for exactly a week from the 28th to the 5th. On Monday, I have a late work day, so I might be able to squeeze it in the morning, but that all depends on what Abby says. Because, of course, don't want to just leave her struggling with Amber Lynn when I am available to be able to watch her. So I may or may not be able to see it.
Yep. All right. So we already talked about I Am Your Mother. The next one is Journey to the Dark Head by Studio Mir. And it's about a hopeful mechanic and delusioned young Jedi who team up for a risky and unlikely quest to turn the tide of the galactic war, but dark forces tail them. I don't exactly remember seeing too much of this one in the trailer, and this one does not have a picture yet. Oh, here's the Sith poster, which I love this poster. This is so cool.
I really dig that Sith poster.
You know? I love this, and this is Lola right here, and it's just got like a big, like almost watercolor paint type thing, um, and the Sith logo on it, which is super cool. And then here's Screecher's Reach. So this is the warehouse, and then you see the mountain that's the Irish mountain in the background with like the moon over it. Super cool. I love that how much they're focusing on these.
Yeah, and looking at the Star Wars Twitter account, they have not posted anything on Journey into the Dark Head quite yet.
Yeah, I think the next one's supposed to be I Am Your Mother. So um so yeah, so this one Jang Yi Na as Ara and young Ara, Lee Kyung Tae as Tool, Yun Yong Sik as Bishan, Shuang Quang as the interpreter, Choi Soo Min as Master Duda, Shin Yang Woo as Master Lisa Gum and the shopkeeper, Lim Chai Hyun as the training partner, and Lee So Young as Master Moru and another Jedi. That was the Korean language cast. And then for the English cast, you've got Ashley Park. I'm not going to say the names, but it's in the same order. Ashley Park, Eugene Lee Kang, Daniel Day Kim, Albert Kong, Greg Shun, Janella Landry, and Judy Alice Lee.
Now, some of these names actually sound familiar. Yes, Daniel Day Kim. We've already talked about
Lost. We
him.
talked about him. How could
Yes.
you not know who he
And
is?
then, well, hold on. Eugene Lee Yang also
It's
sounds
the Try
familiar.
Guy. Did you not listen to me talk about either of them?
I am sorry. Uh, oh, it is. Okay. Sorry. Um, do I know Judy Alice Lee? That doesn't sound familiar. But uh, guys, I am super stoked about this. Now, I will admit, last time I did stay up until 2 a.m. to watch this. Unless there is something already going on where I will be staying up late, I will not be staying up until 2 a.m. But if the opportunity is there and like I'm up until midnight or something and I'm just like, I can kill time until 2 a.m., yeah, fine, I will watch it. But I probably will wait until I am fully awake to enjoy every minute of this for sure.
Yeah. Our watch along for patrons will not be like our first watch. It's gonna be like the second watch through, and then we'll be going live for our review for Young Jedi Adventures and Visions. So be one big block for patrons, but also like, yeah. I don't know.
It's gonna be a good time for sure.
Oh yeah, it is. Maybe I can get Matt to join. Probably not. Um, okay, so the next one, which we kind of already talked about, is the Spy Dancer. But just to kind of talk about the cast, you've got Camille Cotton as Louis, Lambert Wilson as John, Casey Chase as Hedis, Rudy James Jeffcott as the officer, Barbara Weber Scaff as Mima, plus others, and then additional voices include Bruce Sherfield and Taylor Gassman. Do you want to read the next one? I've been talking a lot. You should talk.
Yeah, sure. Yes, the next one is from 88 Pictures, titled "The Bandits of Golak." Fleeing from their village by train and pursued by uh, ferocious Imperial forces, a boy and his force-sensitive younger sister seek refuge in a vibrant and dangerous uh, Daba. Sorry. Uh, the cast includes Shiraj Sharma as Charuk, Sonal Kushal as Rani, Niraj Kabi as the Inquisitor, Lilette Lilette Dubé as Rugal, and Sahil Vad as the uh, Mahadi, and Scavenger Richard Joel as Scavenger Samanto Ray as the conductor, as well as John Jory leader and Duna. I think those are sorry, I'm reading all this wrong. It looks like these two actors are going to be three separate characters each or two separate characters each. And then Rajiv Raj as the helper and Averall Kumar as the stormtrooper. Ishtakar as stormtrooper and alien, and then Adita Sharma as the stormtrooper and alien. So it looks like we are getting both the different. Oh, I just kind of got out there. Do you
Yeah.
still hear me? Okay, cool. My camera just kind of wigged out there. Sorry.
Mine did too.
Um, the where was I?
So I think they're playing multiple people. So the Stormtrooper and Alien are different characters.
Yes.
So,
Shivani Dabari as crowd. I don't know if it's an actual crowd or if that is just a person's name in the Bandits of Golak. The Pit by the Art Shaj. Oh, I almost did it myself. The T is silent. Shajio and Lucasfilm. A fearless young prisoner forced to dig for Kyber by the Empire, plans a risky escape for he and his people. I believe this one has the more traditional anime style. If you look at the poster, I think it is the uh the center character with the blue holding the blue lightsaber. I think this is what this one is. I may be
Okay.
wrong on that, but I am pretty sure that is what this uh short is going to be about. Um David Diggs as Crux, Anika Nani Rose as Eureka slash the mother, Jordan Corrett as Levi, Cedric Yaboro as the old prisoner, Steve Blum as the commander, and Matthew Wood as the stormtroopers. The last short of Volume 2 is Ayu's Song by Triggerfish, an alien child who longs to sing, is raised by her loving but stern father to stay quiet because of the uh, chlamydious effect her voice has on the crystals in the nearby mines. Uh, and there is a lot of names that I will be mispronouncing, so just a heads up there. Uh, Impilo Jantiji as Au. That's the dialogue. There is a separate singing voice. I think this is kind of cool. This is a very classic thing in animation, I feel like. It is very prevalent in, of course, uh, classic Disney films. There was somebody who did all of the voice dialogue, and then other people would do the singing dialogue as well. Uh,
Right.
Daneo Du Toit as Ao, the singing voice. Tomoshio Masha as uh, Abat. Cynthia Urivo as Karatu. And Faith Baloy as Atu. Now, of course, this is going to be released May 4th. And just a reminder, there will not be a Star Wars Alliance on May 3rd. We are going live on May 4th. So that way it'll be fresh on our minds and we can all talk about it. But that
Exactly.
is it on Visions Volume 2, I do believe.
Which one are you the most excited
I think I am quite possibly most excited. I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna name two. Um,
for? Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and name the one that has the old Republic vibes. The Sith is probably my the one that I'm kind of most intrigued about. But animation style, I think it will be uh from uh to art Shoujo and Lucasfilm. I think that is probably my most favorite as far as style goes. It's very classic, so that's the one I'm kind of looking forward to.
Style wise, I'm probably looking at um oh my gosh, where is the studio list? I think it was 88 Pictures. Um one the one with the Inquisitor. Yeah, the Bandits of Golok. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to. Um
That's I think the Bandits of Golak will be the one that will surprise me. Is because I of course I'm always intrigued by Inquisitors, but I believe that is the one where the woman is holding two lightsaber blades in the trailer, right? And then she ends up fighting an Inquisitor, I believe. That is
I think so.
yeah. Like I love the art style, but I think that is going to be the one that surprises me the most as far as like it's probably going to be a jaw dropper.
Okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna pull up the trailer again and just kind of watch it through one more time. For shits and giggles, you know.
And I know they probably don't want to share too much just for the fact that like and I'm sure they are going to be sharing these posters and gifts and everything else on their Twitter account through May the 4th so that way people can get hyped about it. But I kind of wish that they had shared this as far as like showing each studio. Yeah, make sure that.
Oh, could you hear
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like this, like the logo coming in just looks super cool.
Well, I just love like even in volume one, and we'll speak about it right after this. Um, I love the way that all of these people, and people I mean the studios, don't draw the lightsabers very traditionally. They draw
Yep.
them like a katana or like other weapons, and I think that is very, very cool.
Yeah. So this one's the Ardman one, the family race.
Yeah,
Screecher Reach. I'm assuming. I think that one's Triggerfish. Yeah. So that one's the one you were talking about. The yeah, right
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this like the animation looks amazing. Um I just want to be captured by the story as well. And I think this one will be one that I'm just like gawking at the entire time.
Yeah. And this is like something that's so important, I think, with Visions is being able to see all of the different cultures represented, and it's especially prevalent in the 88 Pictures one, Bandits of Golak. Just like the cultural dress and everything.
Yeah.
And I already said like I think my other favorite will be the Ardman one, but that's also because like that's like a studio that I just know and love, and most people do.
Yeah.
So
I think just for the sake of being classic, I think a lot of people will attach themselves to that. Um but I love the look of all of these for each
yeah,
like their own unique ways. Um yeah, like for the fact that we're going to be getting lightsaber duels again, I just think it's going to be awesome.
yeah,
Now, question:
uh-huh.
in volume one, these shorts ranged anywhere from 14 minutes to 22-ish minutes. Do you think that's going to be extended here, or do you think we're still going to be getting the like short end of the stick, pun intended?
I think it's still gonna be short, because you don't want to hire it out for too much. I do wish like we would get like a time on these because obviously like people want to play in their day, but also like it's just kind of helpful to know. Um, and I think would kind of indicate like what to expect story wise. So
Yeah. Now, the looking at Visions one, we have 16 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 22 minutes, and 15 minutes. It looks like the Ninth Jedi and Lop and Ocho were the two longest episodes. That is episode 5 and episode 8. Do you think any of them top 25 minutes?
I don't think so. I think we're still gonna be in that range. We might see one hit like I don't think they'd be any longer than 30 minutes. I think that would be my max.
Yeah, I don't think it reaches 30. I'm gonna say one episode tops out at 27 minutes, I think. um just because when it came to the reaction of these shorts, I think of course the Ninth Jedi was probably the one that made the most noise. Of course people loved the duel because it was the very first one. It was the one that I feel like Star Wars promoted the most. It got a novel released for it. um so there was popularity in that, but that one was only 16 minutes. I do think that because of the popularity of the one that was technically like the longest, I think they will probably be more lenient for these studios to make a longer short. And I think that's why I don't think we, let's see here, 15 minutes was Akiri and TOB1. Yeah, so the shortest two were 15 minutes. Um I think that the shortest in volume 2 will be more than 15 minutes, but the longest will not be more than 27. That's what I think.
I did. I'm feeling pretty good about the 27 number because I was just talking to my sister, the one who's about to have a kid. And I was like, you should watch Legends because she's got maternity leave and everything, and like she'll be up with the kid and everything. And I told her she should watch Visions because she's also very artistic and stuff. And she was like, maybe I'll have a lot of late nights coming soon.
Yeah, a lot of late nights. Trust me, a lot of late nights. But as far as our talk on Visions Volume 2, looking forward to it. We got 1 week to go. Um, it took them quite a while to push for a Volume 3 or announce a Volume 3. And with Celebration not being until another 2 years from now, um, I think we could
And
possibly
it's in
see,
Japan.
and in Japan, I feel like we could possibly get an announcement for Volume 3 a lot sooner than we did Volume 2. That's what I think. What
I
about you?
think they probably timed it that way, knowing and going, okay, we'll screen volume 3 at Celebration. That would
Oh,
be
you,
my
you think so?
I think so.
Wow. What? Well, Visions Volume 1 was only last year. You think it's going to take like a whole year and then like give Volume 3 to Celebration at 2025?
So
Don't
Visions
break my
Volume 1,
heart.
it's actually been almost a year and a half.
Don't break my heart, Katie.
I'm sorry. Visions Volume
I
1, though, it's been a year and a half.
I haven't even gotten Visions Volume 2 and I'm wanting Visions Volume 3. What is wrong with me? Um I
What's wrong with
I don't know.
us?
I do
When are
think
we
that
going to get a Ninth Jedi movie announcement?
I know. I want it. I think that's more than anything, I think that's what this shows is like, hey, there's an audience for this stuff. And with how crazy good the scene for animation is within the Star Wars universe and with fans as well, I think you could give us a full length movie with any one of these and
Yep,
people would go and see it.
exactly. Now, I do have to wonder, okay, what if they're doing a Ninth Jedi book where they're just continuing on and they're just like, okay, here's a book. What would you say to that?
I would be okay with that. And the reason why I would personally be okay with that is because I am now, thanks to Katie, a book nerd. But
You're
see,
welcome.
I would like to know, and maybe we can find out through our limited sources, what the sales were for Ronin. We know that it hit New York's bestsellers list, but like I feel like any book can hit the potential for a bestsellers list if the hype is there during the meantime, right? Like,
Yeah,
hey, everybody's really hyped on Visions. Let's go buy this book. Let's support this thing. It's awesome. But like the longevity of those sales, where did it fall, you know? Did it
yeah.
fall within the same year? Is it still going strong right now? Like I think with a Ninth Jedi movie, and I guess this will kind of bridge us into our Visions talk, but just keeping it on this topic of a Visions short turning into a movie, you have a lot of people like being okay with visual media. I think it'll take somebody a lot or completely cut them off if you give us a book. I would be okay
Yeah.
with it. But I think you alienate a whole lot of people who will not buy a book if you just say, "Hey, the story continues in this book." You know,
I think so too.
because just for the fact that like we haven't heard any news on any of these stories. Now, I will admit, I have on my Amazon wish list right now a Disney what is it? The Golden Books? Is that what they're called for the little children's books? There is a Disney Golden Book Star Wars TOB1 story.
Yes.
I do not know if it is uh
I don't have the TOB one, but these are the original prequel trilogy books.
yes, the Golden Books, yes. There is a TOB1 book, and I don't know if it's the exact same story or if it's like a prequel to that story or a sequel to that story, you
Yeah.
know? I would have to go out and purchase it to actually see what it is. But from what we know, Ronin is the only book that has continued any of these stories. And I really think it would be a missed opportunity to not continue any of these, whether that be in volume one or in volume two.
Yeah. I am disappointed that there wasn't more for a publishing initiative for volume 2 because we haven't seen anything yet. Hopefully that will change and like, oh yeah, here's a book. Merry Christmas. Who knows? Maybe we're getting several books. I don't know. Please, please, people. Tom, if you're watching, we want another Visions book. Mm.
I'm literally tweeting out from I'm tweeting out Tom, and I'm tweeting out Michael right now saying, "Hey, is there any news on any type of book announcement for Visions Volume 2 or any kind of continuation with Visions overall?" Just throwing it
Please.
out there. Just throwing it out there. I know they probably won't answer me, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there.
We're sorry if you think we're harassing you, but the people want to know. Oh, interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking at Twitter right now, and it says some of the perks for Star Wars Jedi Survivor include purity. This is a massive increase in damage for both friends and foes. Warrior replaces standard enemies with new, more difficult combat encounters. Trendsetter randomizes your cosmetics after respawning.
Hmm. Okay.
Sorry, I just thought that was interesting. EA Star Wars tweeted that out a couple hours ago. Okay, so I think we're both in agreement that the ninth Jedi is still probably one of our favorites.
Yes, 100%.
I think I think it's still my favorite. Um, uh, I kind of fell down on Lop and Ocho a little more. I know, I know, but I appreciated the duel more because I hadn't given the duel a rewatch since reading Ronin.
I hadn't either. So having a little bit more knowledge on what happens after that duel did help me appreciate it a little bit more. But one thing that I did not notice in the duel was, of course, the duel is the very first episode of Visions Volume 1, is the fact that the blaster fire traditionally being red in Star Wars canon um was blue and green, and the only red visuals on that black and white short was the lightsabers, of course, from the Sith. Um and I thought that was interesting. I thought that was a very interesting choice. uh Usually red and green, uh, of course, represent the Jedi, uh, and for them to be shooting both from the Empire and from the uh, bounty hunters that were hired from this village. Um, I thought that, the color would be very what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? Representative of their faction, but it wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
you see just blue and green. But of
Well, and I
course.
think that's to place emphasis on the story being more focused on like the Sith.
Mhm.
Uh, and kind of just making sure that that red is like fiery, and that's something that just like attacks you. You said red and green, by the way. I think you meant blue and green.
Blue and green. Yes, 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 of course. Um,
Um,
also, um, still do not really care about what is it called? Jedi Rhapsody or
Tatooine Rhapsody.
Tatooine Rhapsody. Um, don't really care for it too much. I think I enjoyed it more the first time just because I was like, hey, like I like the art style, the very chibi, cutesy type of art style. Um,
Yeah.
it makes Boba Fett look like he's 2 feet tall. Uh, it's well, actually, I guess that is the one of the uh stories that is technically in Star Wars canon with Jabba and all of them, Boba Fett.
Yeah, it totally
Um,
could be.
so it wouldn't be the first one, as far as the Wedge Antilles one that is coming out this year. Um, but yeah, Justin Gordon-Levitt, not a great singer, so it didn't really vibe with me the second time around.
Yeah, I kind of stuck with the, like, ignoring that one again. Like, I did like, I watched through them all, but it wasn't, like, my cup of tea, and I'm not huge into the chibi style animation.
Hmm.
So, that was just my perspective. Um, so the twins. This one's like a silent killer. Like, I love the adaptation on, like, Luke and Leia, the twins,
Hmm.
and what if they were grabbed by the dark side instead, what would happen? Also, the R2D2 and C3PO knockoffs, I just love. So, I don't think
RDO.
this yeah.
Yeah. I love this one. Just because of the immense chaos that it ensues. It's off the wall bonkers. Like almost to the point of like, for anybody who gets this reference, very uh Gundam, very space opera, very crazy. The fact that he puts a kyber crystal into his lightsaber and then makes his lightsaber the size of Godzilla to destroy a piece of
Yep.
kyber that is smaller than my hand is absolutely insane. Of course, it is, of course, also supposed to destroy the ship, but it's just like the overall concept, absolutely crazy. Being able to the way that they uh I forgot, I believe it was Anne, and who was the male twin? Anne and something else, I can't remember. But the way Anne had her like Darth Vader suit with all of like the red whip lightsaber, the light whips
Yeah.
were basically it, like that was really cool. Um I loved how much this one really dove into the roots of its like just hardcore animation or just hardcore anime from the uh Asian influences. I just love that. It was very, very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the twins are Am and Kare.
Yes, Kare. Yes, yes.
Um, so the next one is The Village Bride. And this was the one that Star Wars actually put up to the Oscars for Best Animated Short Film.
I really dug this one. There was a lot of it that I did not remember. And I will go ahead and chop that to watching this at 2 a.m. at the time when it was first released. I probably fell asleep for a quick second, but I really dug this. There's like a like unspoken like tragedy that has happened within this story, of course, with this Jedi. Um, and she is unwilling to take off this mask. Um, we find out later there is a scar there. It's a scar that reminds her of her past. Um, and everything that is going on with this village also is you're not really sure like what's going on. There's some people who could be categorized as extremist at one point, but I I really dug this. The animation style was very, very clean. Again, the way that uh they animate the lightsabers, I love that they're not just
Mhm.
solid cylinders, they are katana-esque. Uh the way her boots and heels kind of like made her run faster, almost gliding against the floor was really, really cool. Just great story overall as well.
Yeah. 100%. This one, shot up for me. I don't think I appreciated it quite as much on the first viewing. I watched this at a regular time of day, um, but I appreciated this one a lot more on this turn.
Yeah.
I think just being able to kind of like enjoy the nature aspects, um, and stuff, it was really impressive, I think. And I can see now, because when I saw that they had put this one up for an Oscar, I was like, why would you put that one up for an Oscar? Like the Ninth Jedi, people, like that's the one. And I get it now. This one definitely, I feel like, focuses more on like it has more themes. Like I felt like this one was the most like anime themed focus. Cause like with like some of the Studio Ghibli
Yeah, and I was just about to
ones.
say the Village Bride had the I guess the most background to a story.
Mhm.
You really dove deep into the village, their history, and all of these other things. Um, we don't talk enough in, I feel like, Star Wars novels and shows and everything else about other worlds' connection to the Force, and this gave a really good showcase of that. The way that you saw the two individuals like touching the rock and like showing them kind of their past and whatever. I feel like that was supposed to be representative of that connection to the Force outside of the Jedi. And so I thought that was really cool as well.
Yeah. All right, so we're not gonna go into the Ninth Jedi because I feel like we would just talk about it for hours,
Yes.
and we would. This is still our favorite. Um, so the next one is TOB1, and again, I feel like this one I connected to a lot more. I don't think it shut up any because I feel like I didn't relate to like the robot character as much. Toby, obviously. But I still enjoyed it more than the first viewing.
Yeah, so I remember me being really high up on this one and you being really low on this one. I'm a really big fan of the very classic anime. Uh, 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 oh shoot, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Astro Boy. Astro Boy is has I feel like a very big influence on this individual short. Um, and I love the idea of almost a Pinocchio story to this as well. Like I want to be a real boy, I want to be a real Jedi. Like him having these dreams where he is no longer a droid, he's no longer an android. Like you see him in human form. Um, and then when his father, the of course Jedi that does pass away, um, he's a force ghost and he dubs him a Jedi. You see him as a human form, and then he fights the Sith. I thought that was really, really cool. Almost a tearjerker in some moments of this one. Really, really enjoyed it. I love the aesthetic of like him losing an arm but still using the other droid to like have a jetpack also and just be a complete badass. um it's very high stakes, and it has a really sweet story as well of just like, oh, this Jedi was doing this research to save this planet, and he continues that research and he saves the planet, and he's going to go off into the galaxy and press this research to other planets as well to save basically the galaxy, and I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. The next one is The Elder, which has like the Padawan master, and they end up on a planet trying to take down a Sith. Um, I There's not really a whole lot to this one, I feel like. Um,
Yeah, I
so
back when we first reviewed this, I said that the Master Padawan had a type of Qui-Gon Jinn Obi-Wan feeling.
Yeah.
I take that back. Um, I think that the Master has somewhat of a Qui-Gon type of like aura of him, but this Padawan is just a little shit. Um, the
That's
fact that
exactly what I wanted to say.
the fact that this kid is just like, oh, like, does this mean I need to use my lightsabers? Like, and I think we've seen this before in a lot of different iterations. Well, not just different iterations of Star Wars, but in the stories of Star Wars and Padawans, there are eager Padawans that are like, you know, oh, I want to use my lightsaber. But then, like immediately after they say that, another Padawan just like puts them in their place, and they're like, hey, you're not supposed to want to fight. Like we are keepers of peace, and fighting is a last resort. And like the way this kid just went about it, I was just like, man, this is so annoying. I could also though see this also being extended into a novel or a short story of some kind, because
Yeah.
there was remnants of like, ooh, who is this old man, like what factions was he a part of. um and it's very interesting. I've had several conversations with people. I don't know if I've had this conversation with you, Katie, but there is a fighting style within Star Wars that is illegal to use with Sith and with Jedi. And that is the form of which you turn off your lightsaber to pass a blade and to hit your enemy. Like, because it's been memed about, it's been joked about all the time that like so many Jedi could win fights if they just turn off their blade at one point and then cut off the head of their enemy. And this master in this short turns off his blade, puts the hilt up to this dude's chest, and turns it on. And it immediately clicked at this point. It didn't click with me at all when I first watched it for some reason, just because I feel like I've seen so many memes about it since then. Um, it just clicked. I'm like, oh, he used the forbidden technique and he calls himself a Jedi. Um, the last person to do it was actually Anakin Skywalker during the fight with Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. Go check it out. He actually turns off his lightsaber. Um, it's like I could very much see that story being adapted, just because like the very like moment of like the old man like blowing up his spaceship, you're questioning, okay, what was on his spaceship? Who, like, is he just a Padawan and in his old age? Does he have somebody that he takes like assignments for? Like there's a lot of questions to be asked about it, which makes me think, oh, this studio probably does have ideas if they were ever asked to continue this story.
Yeah. I think so too. I just feel like for what we got, and eh, so it looks
Overall,
really cool,
I,
but
I think that this one was just there for the fight. It was there was nothing else
yeah,
really there. Um, but they still were trying to build a relationship between the two Jedi, the Jedi in the village, because you did see that
yeah,
the Padawan was very friendly to the village kids and all that. So I think there's something there, but that was just like, hey, let's draw out this really cool fight scene, was really
yeah.
what I felt like they had. um
Oh, 100%.
but the next episode, La Pinocho, this just has such a warm place in my heart. I don't know why. For all the people that were screaming the first week of Visions, there's no rabbits in Star Wars. Like there shouldn't be rabbits in Star Wars. Like they're freaking aliens, dude. Like chill out. Like it's fine. And that was one of the things that I wanted to make a big point uh in us talking in volume 2. I didn't really mention it. I really do hope that Visions volume 2, uh unfortunately it doesn't seem like that, but I hope that we have more of an influx of alien races within volume 2. Now you could say, oh, well, technically they're all aliens because they're not from Earth, but the fact that they're all humanoids, and of course humans do exist within the Star Wars universe, I think that is a missed opportunity to make a alien your go-to or your lead in a short story like this. Looking back at the actual Visions Volume 2, if I can go back to the poster, it looks like one, one, um, 1, 2, from, I believe, looking at the uh, Star Wars Twitter account again to make sure I got the uh, right, In the Stars and I'm Your Mother. Those are the only two that have aliens as their leads, and I think that that is a missed opportunity. In volume 1, looking at the entire list there, um, you have none. You have 1, 2. So I guess 2 is the quota as far as, the human cannot be your lead in these shorts. Lop is of course the lead in Lop and Ocho, and TOB1 is the lead in TOB1. Like I need more stories to be surrounded by aliens. It's Star Wars. Like I not every lead needs to be a human or humanoid.
I was gonna say, because on the poster for volume 2, you have
I
like the doll looking creature, like the doll animation.
Oh, right next to the one that's in the stars. They look almost
Yeah,
like teddy bears.
yeah,
Okay, so 3. That looks
yeah.
like 3 out of the what is it? 8 again or 9?
It's
Um
9.
yeah. So that's one more than Visions Volume 1. I guess I'll take it. But like La Pinocho, I just like it's so fun. Um the history that it has from like, oh, this one person came to us with the whole backstory of the lightsaber and the Jedi and all of this and how
Yeah,
it's been passed down from generation to generation. I love that portion of it. And the idea of you get to choose your family. It's not
yeah.
it's not about blood, it's who you choose. Is always a theme that I will always love in any story. Um, so yeah, really, really great stuff with La Pinocho.
Yeah, and I'm not when I say this one fell down for me, it's it's because looking at it, like, despite all of, like, the cultural elements that I really love within it, um, I still ran into the problem of I was and this has happened with me with other animes, like the Screechy character. I feel like Lop and Ocho were both, like, the Screechy anime character who when they get super frustrated, and I just didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Ah, you don't like the whiny character in the anime.
Yeah.
Well, and like I will admit, I when watching Lop and Ocho, I do not necessarily love the voice actress for Lop's sister. I don't think it
Yeah.
really matches well with her design. Nothing personal to the voice actor. I'm sure she has done great work in the past. Just watching on this one, I did feel like it didn't quite match her character design. But I love Lop. I love her design. I love everything about it, and I need bunnies and live action Star Wars. Just saying.
Yes, completely agree. Because I love the themes of found family and then also, like, the cultural, passed down elements for the lightsaber. So,
And then of course
um
the classic cherry blossom scene is like a very big stereotype within Japanese anime, and it's just very it's something that fit the theme of this very very well, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I like the artwork. It was just the screechy whininess that comes in that was like, "Oh my gosh." So, okay, so the last one is Akakiri. Um, and this one is the Padme Anakin mm, adaptation.
Adjacent, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. This I dug. Um, of course, I didn't realize that it was the Padme uh uh story until our review when you had said it. And I was like, "Oh crap, that makes total sense." Um but looking at it now, knowing that knowledge, I then realize the very beginning of this story, those were supposed to be quote unquote Tuscan Raiders. And I was like, oh, it's all
Yep.
starting to click. Ah. Um, I really do like this one just because I do very much believe that you can't always have like of course it's so ironic that I'm the one saying this, but you can't always have a happy ending, right?
Yep.
You do need. I think Star Wars is very very much the one that very prominently made it into cinema that you cannot have a happy story with Empire Strikes Back. Um, the fact that our hero does turn to the dark side, excuse me, at the very end of this short, it's heartbreaking, but like it's so good. Like you
Mhm.
just because you know the influences that this short has, it's so so good.
It's so interesting to get to see what potentially could have happened if like Padme would have survived. And this is another one where I'd really like to see an adaptation with like a book, but I'd love to see it after the fact. Like let I can't remember her name, but the Padme character, let's let her be the star and try and get the hero back
Yeah,
from the dark side. And just kind of go into that a little more in depth because I think that could be really cool.
yeah. I think that that would be really really fun. Um, and the fact like the visions that the character was having in the very beginning, like just teasing the inevitable at the end of this short. Again, truly a heartbreaking story, but one that is definitely a trope within Star Wars that I feel like needed to happen within Visions. Um,
100%.
but yeah, that is our very quick retro review of Visions Volume 1. Again, please make a Ninth Jedi movie. Like that's all I
Please,
ask. That's all I
pretty
ask.
please. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm cold.
Like just like even if you I would hate to say this. If that means you can only have a what if I'll ask the question to you. What if we get a Ninth Jedi movie, but it's only released in Japan and we don't get it until it's released on VOD and or physical release?
I would be really annoyed with that. But like a lot of people have been talking about like US only releases happening cuz like one of my big things is like for the High Republic there was a web series manga. Um
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think it's the Vow of Silver Dawn or something. But it's only in Chinese right now. And I'm like, I want that. I want to read it so bad. And Timelines has it in it. And like talks about the story and stuff. And I'm like, this sucks that this is gonna be the first time we ever get to see like this story played out is like summarized for timelines. But you know what? Like I get it though, because the US is only one part of the world. So we need to stop being so selfish, people.
Yeah.
So I would hate it, but I'd also understand it.
I'm trying to see if there is a translated version of the comic. online, because if there is, I might read it. Now
I
again,
read it too.
I already have well, I don't know. Timelines has already come out, hasn't it? Or is it
So
coming out?
yes, timelines came out Tuesday. So
Yeah,
my
see.
copy is supposed to get in tomorrow. I would like to say a big screw you to Books a Million and Barnes and Nobles who did not have a copy of Timelines in stock for me to pick up because I wanted to read it Tuesday and nobody had it in stock.
Womp womp womp. Oh, but I got paid today. I might go buy
Mm.
it. I might. I
You should
might.
go to your local bookstores and see if they have Path of Vengeance early. I also looked for that.
Oh, I could do that. Do you think? Hmm. Oh, but you said local store, not like Barnes and Noble.
Local bookstore is gonna be more than likely to have it, though I won't say which one because I don't want to like insinuate which person might get in trouble because it's corporate bullshit. But I did ask one of the attendants, I was like, you don't happen to have a Path of Vengeance copy in stock that you would be willing to give me early, would you? And he did look, but they did not have it in stock yet. So
Damn it. I that you know, do I have anything to do tomorrow? I do. I have a lot to do tomorrow. I might have a better chance of finding it on Friday, not tomorrow. So,
yeah.
TBD, but I'll let you know.
We're going to my mother-in-law's town and I'm like half tempted because she's got several local bookstores and my closest local bookstore is like 45 minutes away here. Um so I'm half tempted to call around and see if they have anything in stock.
Nice.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I want the book so bad and apparently it's like 400 pages.
I know. It's so big. I saw the picture comparison between Path of Deceit and Path of Vengeance. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to read that in 4 days? Cool. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I've just learned about my superpower. I'm not perfected in it. Jesus. Anyway,
That's why we're giving ourselves a month. We're
yes.
gonna take our well-deserved break, and
We will have a review for you guys. But speaking of,
yes.
we can now go into, of course, our Quest for Planet X review.
Oh
I
yeah, I called
think
it Quest for the Hidden City earlier. Oh shoot, did I call it that on Twitter? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I totally called it Quest for the Hidden City. Please excuse.
it's the Quest for Planet X. Um, for those of you who are not aware, of course, Katie and I have gone on this giant journey of the High Republic. This is in wave or phase two of the High Republic, set 100 years before phase one of the High Republic. 150 years, excuse me, should I say? No, wait. 100 years before phase one, 150 years before the prequel series, right? Is that correct?
150 years before phase one.
I was right the first time. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, this book is the story right before. Well, technically, this was supposed to release and or be read before Cataclysm to get the full effect of the story. We've already reviewed Cataclysm. It has its own separate episode on the Star Wars Alliance feed. If you would like to go check it out, you can go do so. But uh, Quest for Planet X is a middle grade? No, a
Yes,
younger.
Quest for Planet X, who is written by Tessa Gratton and
Yes,
not George Mann. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
it's been a day, Katie. It's been a day. It's okay. Um, written by Tessa Gratton, is a middle grade book. Um, and I actually really enjoyed this. Now, there is one character that I would really enjoy if you just like threw him out in the airlock. Um, he is a graph, sky graph. Uh, I
Yay.
they
Sky is a
sorry
day.
they I did not enjoy them because they were a selfish little prick. Sorry, it's just like and I will go ahead and say this. I think it's the way of the graphs. I think that
Yep.
he was. I think that they were so engraved in what their family had taught them. And of course, also, it's a story about finding a lost loved one. I think that is also something that I it's very prevalent within the book. So I think it's a topic that I should go ahead and share with you guys. Um, of course, we have known Planet X to be this secret planet that we as the audience know as the home world of the Nameless. Um, uh, uh, there is a race to Planet X, and that's how this whole entire adventure starts off. Um, we, of course, are with our heroes from the young readers or the middle grade novel that we had read, uh, uh,
Well,
the Quest of the Hidden
Rupert,
City.
yeah, that's still a middle grade book.
Middle
So
grade, yeah.
this is a direct sequel.
And Rupert and Das join us. Doss's father is in here, but only for a short amount of time. This book had some very stereotypical, like, let's go on a children's adventure type of feeling. Very, I don't know if you've read these when you were younger, like almost very, um, uh, is it the Magic Treehouse? Is that what the stories were?
Oh yeah, I loved Magic Treehouse.
Like it felt like that, like not in the sense of like transporting into a different world, but more so like just kids on an adventure, with no parents and no supervision and all of that kind of idea. Um, which I thoroughly enjoyed when I was a child. Um, being an adult, I'm just like, why are you making this decision? Why is there no supervision? Rupert,
But
you are a
remember,
Padawan.
this is for kids.
This is for kids. And in my mind, I'm just like, Rupert, you know that you're not supposed to do this. And Rupert even says many times, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I'm just like, and it's a fun story. Now, I don't think it tops uh Quest for the Hidden City, personally.
Oh, see,
But
I like this more than Hidden City. But
ooh,
maybe it was because of like I didn't feel as much like horror vibes with it.
I think that the Hidden City felt like it had more stakes in it
Yeah.
because this is supposed to be a direct tie into what happens at Cataclysm, which it clearly is, with the third act of this novel.
Yep.
But the weight of what happens in Cataclysm, I feel like is not felt at all in this novel. Now that may because the fact that this is a young reader's book, middle grade book, and they don't want to subject the children to like this horrifying massacre of the Jedi, right? Um, but it was almost like, hey, we're gonna teeter to that edge, but we're not gonna show you anything from that. They were very oblivious to anything and everything that was going on in Dalna. Um, and I feel like that's what this book was missing. Um, but that being said, I would really like if Tom, if you end up listening to this, and I may even ask some people around, Tessa Grattan maybe, um, the oh shoot, I texted you this, and we've texted so much since then. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it.
Well, I
The
hate to break it to you, but Tom is not involved in these books. He's
oh
an
no,
editor
he's
for
not.
Random House Worlds.
Damn it! Who I need to find the editor then for the middle grade books
I don't
or the
know who the editor is. It should be in the book, I think.
I need to find. Okay, so uh the the part that I'm talking about is the oh shoot, what is it? I can't remember what it was called. There is a machine that Sky has in his ship, or in their ship, excuse me, uh, that helps DOS remember, or it uses DOS as a navigator, like
Oh, yeah.
physically.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that reminded me very much of the first phase of the High Republic when the Nihil were using, oh shoot, what's her name? What's her name? What's her name?
Oh my gosh, we're terrible at this, Clay. This is not representative of our regular episode, y'all. I'm sorry.
I know
Oh my gosh.
it's
Oh my
again,
gosh. The hyperspace prospector daughter person.
yes, that is exactly who I'm thinking of, but I cannot figure
Okay,
out.
we're gonna look at Martian Rowe because I know he's gonna have traveling in hyperspace. Mari Santeca.
Yes. Oh, Santeca?
Yes.
And the graphs on the Santecas are in a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so maybe there's some
But remember,
validity.
we did the math. Mari's not gonna get found in phase 2. It's too
No,
soon for her.
it's too soon. But the fact that this machine uses the individual as a navigation system,
Ooh.
I
The
think,
first basis for the path engines?
and they described it as like old alien tech in this movie, or in this book. I think there's a connection there. I don't
Ooh.
I need to go see other reviews of this book to see if anybody else has made this connection yet, because I feel like it's there and nobody said anything.
I'm gonna look at Chris and Ryan. It's real fast.
Because I know we talked about it in our text. I'm still trying to find out.
Okay.
Let's see here. Again, I do apologize for our lack of remembering things in.
It doesn't look like Ryan said anything. Chris does
Okay.
not have one. Yeah.
All right.
No, that's super interesting because I didn't think about that. And you're completely right. Like it totally could like be a factor in play and like be a connection there. I have to wonder if somebody is going to throw in something like this where they're like, "Oh yeah, let's write a book about how Mari Santeca got kidnapped by Martian Rowe." Or Martian Rowe's father, to be
Yeah.
specific. Because it wasn't Martian.
Yeah.
Um, I'd be super interested to read that and just kind of figure out how that happened. But again, I'm the know-it-all person. I like to know things. Um, yeah, no, I enjoyed this one a lot more. I liked the Kids Will Be Kids adventure. Um, I thought that was super important to be able to have and like feel like I could see like my kids reading this one day and going like, "Oh yeah, I would love to be on that adventure," or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought this was a great book. This does include the first instance of like a chest binder for representation purposes. So Sky uses one. And it's the first inclusion. So um and it's in a middle grade book. So that's super cool to have in place and just kind of show kids that everything can happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I really dig this. It, like I said, one of the big themes is the fact that uh talking about lost loved ones. We have a character that we have not seen since Path of Deceit, being
Yeah.
one of the Path of the Open Hand. Starts with an F. I cannot remember their name either. Um, yes,
Felix?
Felix. Um, they, of course, are the ones with multiple partners and multiple children. We saw the birth of their children in
Yes.
Path of Deceit. Um, and they were an eyewitness to, of course, our beloved Padawan meeting their demise at the end of Deceit as well. So we actually know this character somewhat well. Getting a little bit more character development into this story was very, very interesting because their eyes were open to the
Mhm.
lies that the mother was spreading within the path. And
Yeah.
that is without even being on Dalna. Like
Mhm.
he immediately realized, like, oh, like she always said that she worked along with the force, and she was a a what did he say? That she
Conduit, I
a
think.
conduit, yeah, a conduit to what the force needs us to do. And then he started to realize how it was all of this, well, I want, or I say, or I will do, all of these I, me type of statements. He's like, yeah, that's not the case anymore. She's only out for herself.
Yeah.
Um, and his number one focus is family. Like, tells Sky, hey, you lost your father. My children are about to lose me, or I'm about to lose them. So we need to work together, do the right thing so we can, you know, I can get back to my family. And one thing that I also need to voice out there is Sky's father does seem to be missing and or already dead. And
Yeah.
Sky's hope is that if they go and find Planet X, because their father was out searching for Planet X, that if they get there, they will find him. So it's like a lost cause, but not a lost cause. Um, and of course, the whole conversation around Doss's mother as well. A lot of themes here uh, are surrounding the same thing, same theme, should I say? And then, of course, Rupert not being around with her Padawan, Salandra. Um, it's very odd because Rupert kind of insinuated that Salandra was basically her mother, but not really, in saying
Yeah.
like, "Hey, like y- Das has his father, and like you, like she said something to Sky, and then said, "Well, I don't have parents. All I have is Salandra. So please let me at least try to communicate with her to know where she is so she knows where I am and we can possibly meet up somewhere and whatnot." And that all ties up, of course, in the third act. But I really enjoyed this. I really did.
Yeah. You talked about Salandra. I do wish Salandra was in this one more, though I get why she's not. Because this is taking place because Salandra we get in Battle of Jeddah. And so this is kind of taking place during that time frame. Um,
It is crazy how Battle of Jeddah, Cataclysm, and this book kind of all are taking they all what almost feels like starting at the same time,
yeah.
but they end all at the same time also. It's very, very wild. Yeah.
Yeah, because and that's a benefit to what we get with the character development with Felix, um, is like we see him reunite with his family and they go, yeah, we're gonna get off planet, um, and kind of just raise our kids and be happy where we're at, and not be involved with the path anymore. So I really this it shut up there with one of being one of my favorites. For the phase in general. Though I think Convergence and Cataclysm are still like top up there. Though I'm waiting for Cavan to break my heart with Passing Deceit. And like it was funny talking about with Matt because Matt was like, why are you so anxious to get this book? Like, what does it matter if you wait another week to read this book? And I was like, but I don't know who's gonna die. And he's like, well, they all die in the end. And I was like, yes, okay, but this is the last book, and I need to know who survives. I need to know. And he's like, well, who, like, surely they're not all gonna die. And I was like, it's Cavan. There's a lot of people are gonna die.
Uh,
And then
so
Matt goes, well, is Cavan known for killing people? And I was like, yes. And he's like, oh,
very
you're
much so.
screwed.
Very much so. I do think that I unfortunately think that Yana is not going to make it.
So you think Marta is Marcian's grandmother?
I think so. But it could go either way. So
See, I would think the mother would want to kill Marta because Marta is trying to take over the path. And so Yana's going to take up the flag instead.
But here's the thing though. I think that the mother is going to die. And cuz I can see Marta's way of thinking and how she absolutely hates the Jedi, although almost falling in love with one. I think that she has been twisted so much that her thought process could be twisted by the time she is getting older to turn into the Nihil. I very much believe so. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
So like there's grandmother dearest. I wouldn't know who to think. I was like, okay, maybe we can get like a clue off of like what she looks like and stuff. I don't think there's any getting anything off that.
Yeah, I I think that it's gonna be Yana who kicks the bucket. And that's only because I don't want her to. I don't want her to die, so I think Cavan's gonna be like, Clay said not to kill her, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill her now. I think that's the way it's gonna go.
I gotcha. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. So
But I
I
believe oh, go ahead.
I'm probably gonna knock this out way before you. So I'm gonna have to be sitting over here going, oh crap, when can I talk to Clay? When can I talk
No,
to Clay?
because get this, with a month off from the GUA as a whole, I only have one podcast to be recording every week, and that's plenty of time to just be reading the book. So I think I will finish relatively close to you, but I won't be I won't say that I will finish before you because that's impossible. But I'm not going to say that it's going to take me all month to read it. So it'll be relatively close.
We'll see what happens. So, Clay, where can I find you?
Yes, of course, you can always find me at fanboyclate on Twitter. Check out my Mastodon account. I tend to share some of my more spoilery thoughts of anything and everything that I am reading, watching, or whatever. So go check that out. Go check out our latest review, on Ranger Alliance. It is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always 30th anniversary special that we reviewed. Very, very fun time with Jake and Joe. Go check that out over on the GUA feed on podcasts. And yeah, like we said, it's going to be time for a break here for me on Star Wars Alliance, and same for Katie. But that's not until after next week. We are still going to be talking about Visions. It's going to be a very fun time. So yeah, very, very fun. Looking forward to it. Katie, what about you?
Yes. And we will put a time up for when we're going live on Twitter because Clay and I have to talk about that, and I don't know yet. So, um, so y'all can find me on most social media platforms. It's at Slice of Katie. If for some reason social media were to explode, Please go to my personal website. It's sliceofkatie.com. I will be working on that more during the month of May. So you can check it out there. And find out where to find me, where to find this show, and where to find Slice of Film, which is my other show on the Geek with Alliance Podcast Network. We have Mission Impossible 4, as well as Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, dropping next Monday. So you can check that out then. Actually, no, probably one's gonna drop, and then probably we'll just drop one episode a week. Because we have all May to drop episodes because Ranger Alliance isn't going to be dropping episodes. So you could still have episodes every week.
Correction. Ranger Alliance will be dropping episodes.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, Jake and Joe will be doing special episodes for Ranger Alliance. So you won't have to be dropping so many episodes all at once. You can still stretch those out.
Cool. Yay. Yeah, Vin Diesel's an idiot. Sorry. I just looked at I had seen that tweet and I was like, y'all, it truly has been a day and a half. 2 days and a half. Who am I kidding? This show you can find on Twitter. It's at StarsLanza. The A in the wars, very important. Don't forget it. You can also send us an email. And David, I promise I'm going to send you an email. I just keep forgetting because I need your address. So if I don't email you, feel free to email us because I'm a slacker. Okay, I'm sorry.
I also want to give a awesome shout out to Wes for using the Ranger hotline to text us. He is listening every single week, commenting on some of the things that we talk about. Of course, you can do the exact same if you use our hotline 830-538-4828. Of course, you can just give us your Twitter handle, a Gmail, whatever. You can always send an email to us as well. But using the hotline to send us text, you don't have to give me your real name. You can always just use your handle. And you can comment on
whatever you want to do.
Exactly. You can comment on anything and everything we talk about here on the show. And it's been a great time texting back and forth with Wes.
Yeah. And I'm typically the person who's going to respond via email. So if you want to talk to me, you can email. If you want to talk to Clay, you can text. I don't know if that makes you feel better. Whatever. I'm just going to shut up now and just say the outro because I just want to go to sleep. So with that, everyone, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you are listening or watching. And we will see y'all next Thursday. May the force be with you. Bye, y'all.